I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX.
Hey everybody, this year we're going to be upgrading the hard drive in this laptop to a solid state drive. This is an HP model 15-R132WM, and this appears to be one of those models of machines where, like my Pavilion Sleepbook 15, you have to do practically a full teardown to access the hard drive. Such a wonderful design, HP. I must say, fantastic design. I'm being sarcastic, of course. So, of course, right there is the model. This is HP 15. Well, that's the short model. But so to start out, we'll go ahead and remove the battery. At least this one does have an external battery. Pull that out. Set it to the side, and yeah, this looks like it's going to be practically the same as my Sleepbook 15. This was made the same year, so yeah, this is a 2014 model. So just go ahead and start pulling screws out. So I just replaced the LCD panel in this machine. Now that featured in a different video. So normally with laptops, you would then, to replace a hard drive, you would typically pull it on the side, or you'd access a little cover on the bottom to get to it, but not on this one. No, this one requires practically a full teardown, and sadly some other models of laptops are designed this way as well. I mean, it was part of the push to make laptops the equivalent of a throwaway tablet. And of course, this was made in 2014, the era of Windows 8, and I always like to call these computers, the design of them was about as bad as the operating system that got pre-installed on them. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and open this up, because now I gotta find my way into this thing carefully. Now some laptops, the bottom comes off the entire thing, but I believe this model here is different. The palm rest comes out along with the keyboard, and there's two more screws over here under where the CD drive or DVD drive slides in. Take those out. So in case some of you guys may not understand why I'm frustrated with this design of laptop, well, think of it like this. Let's say you need to replace the starter on your car. Would you rather just be able to unbolt the starter from inside the engine, or would you rather have to pull the engine from the car to get to the starter? Well, this is like having to pull the engine from the car to get to the starter. It's a ridiculous design. And I will slam it every chance I get. This is, like I say, it's a horrible design. And kudos to HP for such a fantastic design, I'll say. Okay. So just have to carefully. Not sure if you can actually see it's a little bit, but just gotta carefully work something sharp in here, something really skinny in there. The keyboard should snap out. Just be easy with it and take your time. And of course, it's gonna want to fight you. It's gonna be like I don't know. It's just gonna want to fight you, not want to come out. It's gonna be like the kid that doesn't want to leave the playground. And we're going to disconnect the cable for the keyboard. And inside we have more screws we got to take out. So when you go to pull up on the palm rest and you know there's resistance in this area, it's generally because of keyboard. The keyboard has to come out first. That's generally the case. I'll tell you what's funny, guys, is looking at this sticker, it says budget friendly. Well, it's not going to be so budget friendly if you ever have it repaired, because if you take it to a shop that charges hourly, replacing your hard drive, which would normally be a much quicker task, would be a much more lengthy and time-consuming task. So it's not so budget friendly when you have designs like this. Yeah, generally I don't nail customers for things like this, because honestly it's not their fault that that HP or whatever brand design had to make such a horrible, crappy design on a computer. And pop out these cables. Okay, now we should be able to finish taking the palm rest off of this thing. And I can see the hard drive already. Pull these 2 feet off here, make sure we didn't miss any screws. Because sometimes these companies will like to hide them under feet and stuff like that. And what do you know? There's a hidden screw under there. I tell you, this is just designs like this is just ridiculous. So under this foot is an extra screw, and I'm sure it's the same for the other side. all I can say is shame on you, HP. Shame on you. Yeah, I'm sure we have the same exact thing on this side over here. Yep. As you may be able to see, the palm rest practically just comes right out after all that. So set that off to the side. So just think, guys. These steps I just performed would be almost the equivalent of replacing a motherboard. I mean, the motherboard's right there. And guess what? If you want to upgrade the RAM in this machine, the motherboard has to come out. This is almost identical in design to the to my Pavilion Sleepbook 15. So there's the hard drive. So again, it's like almost the equivalent of having to pull the engine from the car to replace the starter. Okay, so these two screws come out. The hard drive should pull out. There we are. This thing's getting a little top heavy. Okay, so now that the hard drive is out, we can go ahead and swap out the bracket over to the solid state drive. There's just two screws in the bottom of this. So I've already backed up the client's data. So what I'm going to be doing is on the new SSD, just go into a clean installation of Windows 10. This machine was still running Windows 8.1. So we're going to go and get that updated to Windows 10. Now Windows 8.1 does still have support for Microsoft until 2023. But if you're still running Windows 8.1, I would just suggest going and make the move to Windows 10. Okay, so old hard drive, which still works. They're just upgrading it for performance, better performance. And solid state drives, even on moderate machines like this, can still make for a big performance boost. And good going, SanDisk. They require scissors to get this open. Usually I don't have to pull out the scissors to gain access to a solid state drive in its package. But SanDisk, on the other hand, they package their stuff just like they package their SSDs practically the same as they do their SD cards. Okay, so I chose a SanDisk SSD Plus solid state drive for this one. Yeah, I mean, SanDisk literally packed this thing like it's a giant, memory card, like a giant SD card. I mean, the packaging is like identical. I mean, several of my SD cards are SanDisk, and this packaging is identical, just a much bigger form of it. Okay, finally it's out. Okay, so go and install our bracket. Goes right there. Now we're going to pop this back into place. Just like that. Go and reattach these two screws. Okay, now we can go and set the palm rest back into place. And of course, be gentle when closing and opening the lid when some of the screws are not in place, because those screws help hold the entire thing together. Stick that back in. So yeah, the longer screws go here and over here. Go and reattach these two screws that are hidden under the optical drive. And we're going to slide that back into place. And reattach the screw. And reattach these feet. Go ahead and reattach these cables. go ahead and reattach the keyboard. Start by popping this ribbon cable back into place. These can be a little tricky. Just take your time with them. Of course, you want to make sure it actually goes in all the way. Sometimes they won't. And then you might wonder why the keyboard isn't working. Looks like it's in there. So anywhere where there's a M.2.5 marking with the arrow is where the screws belong. The remaining holes are just where screws for the keyboard protrude up through. Okay, that looks, yeah, that's definitely all of them. And pop this back into place. So don't be too alarmed if it seems like now it doesn't want to stay in place. Just you gotta run around the perimeter of the keyboard, and there's little snaps. It's just a matter of finding where they are. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and flip the machine back over and finish installing the remaining screws. Okay, the screws are back in, so I'm going to pop the battery back into place. Okay, so now I'm going to start the machine and start installing Windows 10. Now I'm not going to film the entire installation here, but what I'm going to do is just make sure that the drive shows up, and we can see that through the Windows installer. Go ahead and click next. Install now. So this is a blank solid state drive. There's nothing on it. Now, if you was wanting to keep your operating system and stuff, you would definitely want to clone that information over before swapping the solid state drive into the machine. But in this case, if I hadn't already mentioned, we're going to be upgrading this machine from Windows 8 to Windows 10 because this machine was still running Windows 8.1. And figure we'll just go ahead and do that when we replace the solid state drive. Accept license terms. Choose custom install. And there's our drive. So anyways, that is replacing the solid state drive in this HP 15 laptop. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Well everybody, that's it for this video, but don't forget there's a lot more interesting stuff on the channel to check out. Also, if this is your first time visiting this channel, feel free to subscribe to Computer Channel, and also don't forget to tick the bell so that way we get notified of new video posts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, but if you really didn't like it, there is the alternative option available as well. Also, feel free to check out my second channel, CubeComp MTDX. There you'll find videos about bicycling, weather, elevator tours, and all sorts of other neat, interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to come back, and thank you for your support.